There are 3 tweaks which I make to every single Fractal preset, which I'm going to show you today. But first, let's rock and roll. Howdy everybody, Jay Palmer here with the G66. Today I'm going to show you the 3 moves that I make on every single preset that I create, which gives me my sound on the Fractal units. These are things that I did from the very first preset. In fact, I'm going to show you on the very first preset that I ever created. So let's jump into Axe Edit and I will show you exactly what I do. Let's do it. All right, over here in Axe Edit, I have the first preset that I ever created on a Fractal unit, and it was my FM9 actually. And what I'm about to show you will work on every single unit from the AM4 all the way up to the Axe FX3 as well. I'm just showing you on the Axe today because, hey, why not? So this is my quick rod preset. This is based on a Splawn quick rod. Absolutely amazing amplifier, lots of gain, lots of Marshallness in it, but yeah, tweaked Marshallness, yeah, which we like. And there are 3 things which I do to every single preset which I create. But let's have a listen to this first because it is a really cool preset. I love that. It's such a great amplifier. All right, let's jump into it. Okay, tweak number 1. I go over to the input and I turn off the gate. Basically, I put the threshold on 0. Why do I do that? Hey, look, I play tube amps. They go shh all the time when I am not playing and my guitar volume is off, so I'm used to it. It also does affect the tone ever so slightly. Now, the quick rod preset in the Fractal is very quiet, so I don't need it on. Sometimes I do turn it up a little bit because there's too much hiss, and when I'm recording, it's not something I can edit out because I actually print all of the effects onto my tracks as well. But if the amp is quiet enough, then I will turn this completely off and just let the amp breathe and sing. So that's the first tweak. You can experiment with that and see what works for you. Okay, second tweak, I'm going to go over to the amp block here and go over to the power tube section. Now you'll see that my grid bias is at 70%. The stock quick rod amp is actually at 40.8%. I always tweak this. I always hot bias the amps because it just gives it a little bit more pep. Let's have a listen. I'll adjust this back to 40.8% and let's have a listen to the stock settings. Then I'll put it on about 70%, which is where I usually tweak it to. So this is the stock sound. Still a great sounding amp. Lovely sound there. Okay, when I put it on 70, check out what happens. A little bit more pep. The amp is a little bit angrier, and that's exactly what I expect it to do when I hot bias the amplifier. So that's tweak number 2. Gives me that extra little bit of push, which I like to play with my amps. And that is tweak number 2. Let's move on to tweak number 3. I'm going to stay in the amp block and I'm going to go over to the dynamic section. This is one of the things that I did from the very beginning. I put the input dynamics at 5. What this does is actually expands the signal out, and it makes it just a lot more dynamic to play, I find anyway. I'll put this back to 0 so you can have a listen, and then I'll put it on 5. Much of this is about the feel between the guitar and the axe and what I'm hearing through the speakers, but you'll be able to hear it a little bit through your speakers as well. So I'm going to play a little bit with the input dynamics at 0, and then we'll dial it up a little bit. Fantastic sound. Love this amp. It is so cool. All right, let's put the input dynamics at 5 now, which is the setting that I like, and have a listen now. Fabulous. You probably heard that. I can hear it through my speakers. There's that expansion effect. It's a lot more dynamic under my fingers. I can hear the bounce in the sound. This is something I like to do. Now, this is easy enough to do in the AXFX and the FM9. If you want to do it on the FM3 or the AM4, then you will need to add a compressor block and then choose the dynamics processor from the compressor block. I have a full video about how to do that on the FM3, which is on my personal channel as well, if you want to go and check that out. So there you go. There's the third tweak as well. These tweaks are really simple and they give me the sound that I chase after when I'm playing my fractal units. I love doing these tweaks. I do them to every single preset. In fact, if you go over to my Gumroad page and download any of my presets, you'll likely find these in there. If they're not in there, I forgot to put them in there and I'm kicking myself for not putting them in there, and I will go back and fix that. Yeah. But they give me the sound, the feel, the response that I want from my fractal unit. Really simple tweaks which are very quick to do. So try it out for yourselves and see what it does for your sound. I would love to know from you guys what your favorite tweaks are on the fractal units. So leave a comment and let me know. For all of your fractal gear, remember to head over to G66. Have a great day. It's time for the full track. I had fun doing this. I always do, because these sounds, hey, they inspire me to play. Have a great day and I'll see you soon with another one. Bye for now.